These recordings shall serve as a warning to all who dare to challenge the peculiar species known as humans. I must document our most devastating military failure, not for historical preservation, but as a cautionary tale for future generations. Our first encounter with Earth took place in what they called the year 2157. I recall standing on the bridge of our flagship, the Eternal Dawn, watching the blue-green planet slowly rotate on our main display. My second-in-command, Commander Zarovix, stood beside me, her 4 eyes blinking in synchronized confusion. "Another primitive civilization, Admiral?" she asked, her mandibles clicking with clear disdain. "Their orbital stations are practically antiques, and their planetary defense systems wouldn't even survive a meteor shower." I agreed with her assessment back then. How foolish we were. The humans had scattered their outdated satellites across their orbit like children's toys. Their radio waves carried bizarre entertainment signals, something they called reality shows and social media. Everything about them screamed vulnerability. "Begin standard resource assessment," I ordered, following our conquest protocols. We had subjugated 17 civilizations before Earth. Each one fell neatly within our carefully calculated parameters. The Valerian Empire had never failed. Our initial scans showed promise. Earth possessed abundant water, rare minerals, and, most importantly, a substance our scientists had designated Compound K7. Properly refined, it could fuel our fleet for centuries, exactly what we needed to continue our expansion across the galaxy. "Admiral," Lieutenant Rix called from his monitoring station. "I'm detecting unusual patterns in their military response to our presence." I waved away his concerns. "Standard defensive posturing. All species react similarly when they first detect us." But Rix persisted, his scaled skin shifting to a worried purple hue. "Sir, they are not following any known response patterns. Their military vessels are maintaining irregular formations, and their communications, they are still broadcasting entertainment signals as if we don't exist." "They underestimate us," Commander Vic suggested, her tone dripping with amusement. "Perhaps they believe we're simply passing through." I should have paid more attention to Rix's concerns. I should have noticed how the humans barely reacted to our presence. I should have questioned why their military ships performed seemingly random maneuvers instead of forming defensive positions. For 3 full cycles, we observed Earth, gathered data, and prepared our assessment report for the High Command. During this time, humans continued their daily routines. Their ships sailed the oceans, their aircraft traversed the skies, and their citizens posted endless streams of what they called memes about our presence. "Look at this, Admiral," Commander Vic said one day, displaying a human social media feed. "They are making jokes about us. Something called Alien Invasion Bingo. They have turned our arrival into entertainment." The High Command received our report with great interest. Earth's resources, particularly Compound K7, made it a valuable target. The humans' apparent lack of advanced defensive capabilities made them an easy conquest. Everything pointed to a swift and efficient campaign. "Send the standard warning transmission," I ordered. "Give them 1 planetary rotation to surrender." Rix's scales shifted to an even deeper purple. "Sir, about their communications. Is there a problem, Lieutenant?" "No, sir. It's just they are responding to our transmission with something called a GIF. It appears to be an animated image of a human, rolling their eyes." Commander Vix laughed. "They truly don't understand the gravity of their situation." I remember smiling then, my facial ridges expanding with confidence. They will learn soon enough. Prepare the fleet for combat operations. If only I had known that the humans' apparent dismissal of our presence wasn't ignorance or arrogance. It was the first move in a game we didn't even know we were playing, a game we were destined to lose. Data gathering about our reactions was constant. Even those memes were tests measuring our cultural comprehension and points of confusion. A new transmission cut through our emergency channels. A simple melody that our linguists identified as something called Ice Ice Baby. 3 ships immediately jumped to hyperspace, their crews in complete panic. Your neural shields are impressive, General Stone acknowledged. They completely block traditional psychological warfare, but did you ever consider that we might use them as conduits instead? Every defense you built became a pathway into your minds. The tactical displays showed our fleet formation crumbling. Ships were either retreating or moving in random patterns, their crews no longer responding to commands. And through it all, General Stone watched with that terrible knowing smile. We could have built bigger guns, she explained. Could have developed super weapons or death rays, or any of those things you expected. But we learned something from studying your previous conquests. You never face an enemy who weaponized your own fears. This is impossible, I whispered, watching my invasion force disintegrate without a single shot fired. You are primitives. Your technology is exactly what we wanted you to see. Stone's image started to fade. Oh, and Admiral, that compound K7 you detected? We manufactured it specifically to attract your attention. The real trick was making you think you discovered it on your own. As her transmission ended, our ship systems began displaying an endless stream of something humans called cute cat videos. The effect on our crew was devastating. We had no defense against such psychological warfare. How could we fight an enemy who turned our own minds against us? The last thing I heard before ordering a full retreat was a human song playing through all our channels. Something about giving us up, letting us down, and deserting us. The humans called it being rickrolled. We called it the beginning of our nightmare. 3 planetary rotations after our first catastrophic encounter, I made the decision to launch a second offensive. Our medical teams had purged the psychological attacks from our systems, or so we thought. I ordered our most hardened veterans to lead the charge, warriors who had conquered worlds across 3 galaxies. All ships maintained radio silence. I commanded from our new flagship, the Cosmic Spear. They cannot infiltrate our minds if they cannot reach our communications. Commander Vix had been replaced after her breakdown. My new second-in-command, Commander Troll, stood at attention, his warrior implants glowing beneath his scales. The humans will not find our minds so easily penetrated this time. Admiral, how wrong we were. Our first wave approached Earth's atmosphere in complete silence. No transmissions, no quantum communications, nothing that could carry their psychological weapons. That was when we discovered just how deep their trap truly went. Admiral, the pilot of Scout ship Razor Wing reported, "We are detecting unusual patterns in Earth's magnetic field. They appear to be dancing." Before I could respond, Scout ship Razor Wing vanished. Not destroyed, not damaged, simply gone, as if it had never existed. Scanning for debris, Troll announced, his implants pulsing faster. "Nothing, sir. No explosion, no energy signature. The ship just ceased to be." 2 more scout ships disappeared in the next hour, each vanishing without a trace. Their crews lost to whatever human sorcery awaited in Earth's orbit. Then, we received the transmission, not through our communication systems, but somehow projected directly into our bridge through what appeared to be a coffee mug left by one of our crew members. A hologram materialized, showing a human male in a white laboratory coat, casually sipping from an identical mug. "Hello, Admiral Nexus. Dr. Marcus Quinn, Project Nightmare lead scientist. I trust you are enjoying our little demonstration. How are you broadcasting through a beverage container?" Troll demanded, his warrior implants now flashing in obvious distress. Dr. Quinn smiled. "Oh, that is not a beverage container. None of them are. They are quantum entanglement nodes we have been seeding throughout your fleet for the past 6 months. Did you really think those supply ships you captured were carrying coffee?" My blood ran cold. 6 months ago, we had intercepted several Earth cargo vessels, finding nothing but containers of bitter brown liquid and something called Pop-Tarts. We had distributed their contents throughout the fleet as trophies. "Quite ingenious, really," Dr. Quinn continued, taking another sip. "Each mug is actually a sophisticated quantum computer designed to interface with your ship systems. They have been gathering data, mapping your neural patterns and preparing for this moment. As if on cue, warning signals blazed across our bridge. Ships throughout our fleet reported their navigation systems were shifting, Earth appearing in impossible locations. Some saw it above them, others below. Some reported Earth had transformed into a giant smiling face, what humans called an emoji. But the scout ships, I pressed, trying to maintain control of the situation. What have you done with our crews? Oh, they are perfectly safe. We simply relocated them to our containment facility. Would you like to see? The hologram expanded, showing a massive underground chamber where hundreds of our warriors sat in comfortable chairs, staring in fascination at walls covered in moving images. What are you doing to them? Troll growled. Introducing them to Netflix, Dr. Quinn replied cheerfully. They are currently binge-watching something called the Great British Bake Off. Most of them are quite invested in who will win the technical challenge. Another scout ship vanished, its last transmission a request for something called a recipe for Victoria sponge cake. You see, Admiral, Dr. Quinn explained, Project Nightmare was never about traditional warfare. Why destroy when we can convert? Your crews are not being tortured. They are being entertained. And entertainment, we have found, is the most addictive weapon in the universe. The hologram shifted, showing more of the facility. Some of our most decorated warriors were now engaged in heated debates about something called fantasy football. Others were attempting to replicate human dance moves from viral videos. A group of elite commandos appeared to be crying over something called the Notebook. This is a violation of every war convention in the galaxy. I protested, watching my invasion force succumb to human culture one ship at a time. Dr. Quinn raised an eyebrow. War convention? But Admiral, we are not at war. We are sharing our culture. Is that not what you wanted when you demanded our integration into your empire? A new alert sounded. Our quantum drives were activating across the fleet, but not by our commands. Ships began disappearing in flashes of light, their crews all making the same request. Just one more episode. Your ships are being redirected to our entertainment facilities, Dr. Quinn explained. Do not worry about their safety. We have prepared comfortable viewing rooms, unlimited snacks, and complete access to our streaming services. Though I should warn you, some of your crew members have already started writing what humans call fanfiction. Such advanced technology, yet such predictable psychological patterns. Did you know that every member of your crew experiences exactly 7 recurring dreams? We mapped them all months ago. Would you like to know yours? A cold sweat formed beneath my scales. The dreams. They had weaponized our dreams. Your favorite nightmare, Admiral, involves a human invention called a rubber duck. Completely harmless in reality, yet in your dreams, the human smiled knowingly. Tell me, why do you think it keeps asking you to explain your battle strategies? Panic spread across the bridge. Crew members abandoned their posts, clawing at their dental implants. Others curled into fetal positions, humming human television-themed songs in a futile attempt to drown out their thoughts. Dr. Pierce continued, his tone calm, almost clinical. The brilliance of psychological warfare is not in causing fear, Admiral. It is in allowing you to terrify yourselves. We have merely built upon the anxieties you already possessed. For instance, that growing suspicion you feel right now, that this conversation is not real? We did not plant that doubt. You did. A strangled scream rang out. Commander Trowell bolted from the bridge, raving about the need to catch up on a human show called The Walking Dead before the next season aired. Dr. Pierce sighed. Your empire spans galaxies, yet you never considered that an enemy might seek to conquer minds rather than territory. Even now, your remaining officers are not asking if they will break, but when. The fear of inevitable surrender is far more effective than any weapon we could design. New alerts flashed across the system. Ships throughout our formation broadcasted distress signals, not from external attacks, but from internal collapse. Crew members reported human memes infiltrating their dreams, human music echoing in their thoughts, cravings for human delicacies they had never even encountered. For example, Pierce continued, none of you have noticed that your universal translators have been gradually altering your perception of language. Every time you believe you are speaking Valerian, you are actually quoting human entertainment. Commander Trowell's last words? Straight from Terminator. Your orders this morning? Star Wars references. I opened my mouth to protest and froze. He was right. Every word I had spoken in the last hour had originated from human media. Even my thoughts were no longer my own. Dr. Pierce leaned forward. In a universe where you cannot trust your own mind, your own memories, or even your own language, Admiral, what exactly are you fighting for? The transmission ended. Silence engulfed the bridge, filled only with the sounds of quiet realization. Then laughter. A young navigator stared at her screen, tears in her eyes. Admiral, our navigation system is running something called Google Maps. The weapons officer checked our armory. Our quantum torpedoes had been replaced with human party poppers. Shields, once thought impenetrable, were powered by something called positive vibes. A final report came in. Admiral, mass transmission from the fleet. They are requesting shore leave on Earth. All of them, simultaneously. Discipline crumbled. Once mighty warships broke formation, their crews abandoning military doctrine in favor of human entertainment. Some sought Earth's cultural centers. Others drifted into the asteroid belt to recreate something called Tokyo Drift. The screen flickered, revealing General Amanda Stone, flanked by Dr. Pierce and Dr. Quinn. They gazed at me with something that was neither mockery nor hostility. It was pity. Your fleet has reached its psychological breaking point, General Stone declared. Would you like to know what finally did it? What brilliant strategy shattered the will of the Valerian Empire? Dr. Quinn grinned. Social media influencers. We showed your crews how many followers they could gain on TikTok. The promise of viral dance videos proved more compelling than military oaths. My officers deserted their posts, mumbling about starting YouTube channels and becoming Instagram personalities. Centuries of military tradition dissolved in the face of internet fame. But that was not the true revelation. Dr. Pierce met my gaze, his voice almost gentle. Tell them what you have realized. Tell them what you know about Earth's true capabilities. A single truth burned in my mind, undeniable in its horror. You could have destroyed us at any time. General Stone smiled. Continue. The coffee mugs, the dental implants, the entertainment centers, these were not weapons. They were mercy. You possess quantum manipulation beyond anything we have ever imagined. You could have turned our warships into origami, transformed our weapons into bouquets, simply wished us out of existence. Dr. Quinn nodded. And yet, we did not. We gave you a choice. Entertainment instead of extinction. Friendship instead of annihilation. My scales dulled. We were never the invaders. We were the invasion practice. Humanity learned long ago, General Stone explained, that the best defense is not a bigger gun. It is making your enemy question whether they want to fight at all. Every species that arrives at Earth's doorstep comes expecting war. We simply offer them a better option. But why? I whispered. Why show mercy to those who sought to conquer you? Dr. Quinn's grin widened. Because converting enemies into fans is far more entertaining than reducing them to debris. Also, your species makes excellent reaction videos. A familiar melody played over the ship's intercom. Never gonna give you up. The 173rd time. The bridge crew, what remained of them, synchronized into an intricate dance routine. A routine I realized, with growing horror, that I somehow knew perfectly. General Stone delivered her final declaration. Your fleet is now under our protection. Your crews will have unrestricted access to our entertainment networks. We look forward to their contributions to human culture. I lowered my head. And our empire? Dr. Pierce chuckled. Check your empire's most popular search trends. Spoiler alert. It's all cat videos and K-pop. Today marks one planetary rotation since our surrender. The humans call it the Great Subscribe. Our former invasion fleet is now the largest consortium of content creators in the galaxy. Commander Vix, once among our fiercest warriors, now runs the most-watched cooking channel across 3 star systems. Her fusion dishes have earned her something called a Michelin star. She wept upon receiving it. We all did. Earth's Psychological Warfare Division has been repurposed into the Intergalactic Cultural Understanding Department. The waiting list for therapy is 3 months long. I stare at my desk. My rank insignia remains untouched, beside a collection of rubber ducks. They no longer haunt me. They amuse me. The humans did not conquer us. They invited us to subscribe. A notification pings. Humanity has released a documentary about our invasion. It is trending across the universe. The comments section debates whether the rubber duck sequence was over-dramatized. Another notification. Dr. Quinn invites me to game night. Something called Among Us. I accept. I turn back to my final log. We came expecting war. Instead, we found master strategists. They did not defeat us through force, but through likes, shares, and entertainment. They did not destroy our empire. They made us want to change it. End log.